Like I keep saying, I'm a girl from Brooklyn that kind of got an opportunity and felt like I wanted to give that opportunity to other young women. I know what I could have been growing up in the inner city, and I knew what I didn't want, and I wanted to make sure young women around the world understood that they had choices. Hi, I'm Sharifa Murdock, CEO of Envision and Chief of People and Culture at KITH. How I became Sharifa Murdock, the business mogul, I started at a young age. I was very ambitious. I used to always want things as a child, like purchases, and we'll go shopping or we'll go window shopping with my dad, and I would come home and be like, I want 10 items, only 10 items. And he sat me down one day and said, you have to work for anything you want. So I started with the paper route at 11 years old. And then I started at little stores that I worked at, like McDonald's, as a teenager. And then I got into the fashion industry working at companies like Louis Vuitton and Donna Karan. But my biggest break, where I guess you can say I started to evolve, was Atrium. Atrium was the clothing store in Manhattan that kind of set the tone for all designers and just had this movement. And I started there as a salesperson, and the owner of the Atrium, his name is Sam Ben Abraham, was my mentor, and he basically guided me throughout the way, and he's now my business partner within two of my businesses, Liberty and Envision. Envision had started years ago when I was working, right? Like I keep saying, I'm a girl from Brooklyn that kind of got an opportunity and felt like I wanted to give that opportunity to other young women. I know what I could have been growing up in the inner city, and I knew what I didn't want, and I wanted to make sure young women around the world understood that they had choices. So I started going to festivals. I'm going to say in 2017. And I just felt like it was lacking things. Like all the festivals were beautiful, we had fun, but I wanted to educate women, and I wanted to show women that they had a direction and that there were other women out there that can kind of help them along the way. I have such big dreams for Envision. I see it having a building. I always wanted to build this like resource for young people, like kind of like an elevated YMCA mashed up with a Soho house. Like, I just feel like kids need to be exposed at an earlier age to things that they aren't normally exposed to. So I see Envision being that platform to open up young people's eyes to see how much further they can go in life and not just believe the story that they're being told. When I did the first Envision and we were at the concert, we went on stage and there were young girls saying, I've never been to anything like this. This is so amazing. This has impacted my life, and I keep hearing those stories. So I just want to keep pushing that forward and keep impacting everyone's lives and just trying to help one person at a time. So for all the young people that want to get into the fashion industry, the first thing I'm going to say is just be humble and understand that your time will come. I don't want people to get discouraged if they get let down the first time, because that normally is what happens. But I definitely feel like you need to keep going and keep trugging along. It's going to happen. I will suggest that you start to do a lot of research. It's important for you to do research on what you really want to do. If you want to be a buyer at a store, look at what your favorite stores are and do the research on like who is the buyer for that store. Maybe reach out on LinkedIn and find mentorship, or on Instagram and find the mentorship that you want. But I will say keep pushing, because it will happen for you, and you have to believe in yourself before anyone can believe in you. The gaps that I see is just the lack of diversity still. I mean, I know right now in 2021, everyone is trying, but I think that we can do better. I think that people can do better and understand that there's so much talent. They always say, oh, well, there's a lack of talent. There isn't. They're just not looking for the right talent. And I feel like people need to not just judge off of appearance. They need to understand that we as Black creatives all have talent, and I want them to see through just the outer surface and look within and look at what we can do, where we've been. They don't even get that far in a conversation, I feel like yes, but now it's happening, but I want to see that to continue to happen and for us to push the envelope forward. Building your own small community, you start to feel different. You don't look at the outside. You look at your community, and they help you validate and become stronger, to know that they're going through the same things you might be going through. You guys bounce ideas off of each other. My self-worth is built by my community and the people that always sit around me. My family and friends have been part of my journey. They have basically knock me down whenever I thought I was getting too big. And they've helped me push me up whenever I always felt down. They have been my support system, my best friend Amanda, my sister, my husband. They've been pushing me to be who I am and not ever doubt who I am. I've had help, I've had assistance, I've hired the right people, I've surrounded myself around friends and family that want to propel me forward. I think it's important to have the right people surrounding you. Like, I want people to understand how valid that makes you and how much of it validates who you are as a person if you have the right people lifting you up. The biggest lesson I've learned in this industry is to never let someone else make you feel less than. I remember allowing people to make me feel that I was less than. And I always tell myself after that one challenging moment that did teach me a lot, that I would never allow someone to make me feel what I already know that I've been given a blessing for, that I am less than. So I want people to understand, just because someone says something to you and it's something that you may not agree with, you don't have to agree with them. And I want you to stay positive and understand that you are more than. And just educate yourself and make sure that you know what you're talking about, you know who you're talking to, and also just make friends. Don't go into things unauthentic. Make friends, build relationships, build real relationships. Understand who you want to be as an individual in this industry at the beginning, so that when you do leave, or if you do decide to go in another industry, people recognize who you are no matter where you go.